Hello everybody, Matt Ball here, MD of Action Coach in Loughborough. Welcome to another episode of Business Spotlight, and I'm delighted today to be joined by Mark Hatton from Golfing Days. How are you today, Mark?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thanks very much, yeah. You?
I'm all good, all good, all good. Not as tanned as you. Obviously, you've been away in Portugal for a long few weeks, but let's get cracking, shall we? Why don't you just tell everybody a little about who you are and what you do at the moment?
Okay, so, as I said, my name's Mark. I'm the business owner of Golfing Days. So our strap line is basically we are the golf travel and event specialists. We provide golf holidays in the UK and all around the world. And I think our USP really is the uniqueness, if that's the correct word, of the events we offer. We're not offering just one type of event. We offer various types of events throughout the year across the UK and overseas.
Cool. How long have you been running the business for?
Well, the business has been actually alive, you believe it or not, for 17 years, but it was small. I worked at the same time as in a different career as it was set up. But basically the last 8 to 9 years, it's just gone from strength to strength. In the last couple of years, it's gone bananas after COVID, really.
Excellent. A question I always like to start everybody with is if you think about success in business, in life, or in sport, however you choose to do so, is there a person that kind of jumps out to you as defining success?
Well, I mean, in business, if you look at, I think a very obvious choice, someone like Richard Branson, and see what he's achieved over the years, and from what I read, finding a watch on a pavement somewhere, and from that money they got from that, because nobody claimed it, going on to building his business. That's an amazing story. And sports-wise, the single-mindedness of Tiger Woods and what he did over the period of time, there'll never be a success story in sport for that longevity of time, I don't think, again, in any sport, because you've got a small career, a small peak of form. Yeah, but he was something else. He's superhuman, I'd class it. So Tiger Woods' success is something that you look at and well, can only just sort of wow at it. You know what I mean?
He's still doing something these days, isn't he? He was pretty good.
Yeah, well, yeah. He's sort of the father figure of the PGA Tour now. It's weird saying that because it feels like he only just jumped on the scene, but it's 25, 26 years ago. And he's still out there, he's still capable of winning. He still thinks he's going to win every time he gets on the golf course. And that's, I think, a great attribute to have in his field.
Awesome. So what would you say is the biggest learning you've had since becoming a business owner?
Adaptability. We're a small business compared to some of the golf travel companies out there, because you've got 2 or 3 really large businesses that take the majority of the bookings. So we've had to adapt what we do and not just go in for the big groups of 20, 24 guys going away or girls going away for the 4 nights, 3 rounds. We started to adapt the holidays into like hosted trips and trying to find places that people aren't going to. We can all send people to Spain, Portugal, Turkey, etc. But there are a lot of places out there that are quite untapped. We took a group to the Arctic Circle in 2019, one of the best links courses now voted in the world. It was fairly unknown. Now everybody's trying to do it. We're actually going again this year with another group. But it's just been able to adapt what we can offer and how we do it. I would say we're more of a concierge than a phone call and telling you what you can and can't do and where you can go. We'll work with the client and we'll plan everything for them. We'll even recommend restaurants and bars and entertainment and stuff and experiences as well. Because a golf trip can be all consuming by the golf. It's nice to be able to offer them a wine tasting experience or a trip into the hills or to the mosque if they're going over to Oman or Abu Dhabi or something like that. So,
cool. And was the business always like that, or is that something that you kind of evolved into or identified that there was a gap in the market? How did you end up being offering that sort of concierge-based service?
Well, I think also as you get older and you learn a bit more about business, I think also there was an element of places to visit that I personally wanted to go to, which within the business was an opportunity to take people to these places and actually discover them and enjoy them together. And when you get a group of golfers with you who go on a hosted trip, they sort of embrace it. You know, they embrace the fact you're going away. Don't get me wrong; they do lose their train of thought. You have to organise everything for them, times and meals and stuff. But you know, to get over there with these guys and actually see, or girls, and see the faces and the enjoyment they're having, is that you sit back there very proud of what you can offer.
Awesome. And what did, I mean, as a travel business, I imagine, you know, COVID and lockdowns and things like that presented some challenges and maybe some opportunities as well. How did you respond when that happened?
So I remember sitting in Portugal, Feb 2020, and a friend of mine saying, our business is going to collapse. We're all going to get locked down. The world's going to implode. And I'm sat there thinking, no, it won't. No, it won't. Well, obviously, within 3 weeks, everybody was getting locked down. So that initial thing, because our travel business only launched 2.5 years before COVID, and we'd start to get really good traction and a good following and a lot of bookings. And obviously for 2020 was going to be our biggest year. And I have to admit, I'm a very positive person. I'm very, very rarely negative, but it did hit hard those first few weeks because you just knew things were going to change, and none of us could go anywhere. But the beauty of what we did is in that time is we started to work with resorts we'd never worked with before in the UK, like Scotland and Bournemouth, South Wales, the Northwest, because I had a feeling that when we start to be let out, that we could possibly only be let out within our country. There was going to be no flying, and there would have been a real demand for UK trips, which we did see. But also during that COVID year when we couldn't do anything, if you remember, golf was one of the first things you were allowed back to do. And there was a lot of golf governing bodies that were scared to death of putting any events on and being the cause of an outbreak. Yeah. Whereas we felt it wasn't a risk. We felt, well, that wasn't going to happen. We were happy to put events on if we did it in a very safe manner. So we put on 22 pro-ams over that year. Wow. And bear in mind, these pros couldn't travel anywhere. So they weren't allowed to go and ply their trade on the Alps Tour or the Challenge Tour or anything like that. So we opened it up to any professional golfer, and we've sold out every one. Yeah. And basically that saw our year through. It washed the business's face for the year. Mm-hmm. And then when we came out the other side, as we thought, UK bookings just went through the roof.
And imagine reputationally, that was great for you as well, you know, to all the contacts and everything like that.
Yeah, just keeping everybody going during that year as well, because obviously it caused a lot of people a lot of stress and everything, not being able to go out and not be able to go and ply their trade. They thought, well, we're not going to be able to play for a year. So I felt we helped a lot of people out in that way. You know, we provided prize money and prizes and fun days out in a period where not many people were having any fun. So yeah, I mean, COVID for us was a battle like it would be for anybody, but we got through it, and we think that year was a springboard to where we are now, to be honest with you.
Brilliant. And what does the sort of next few years hold for you then, do you reckon? You know, next 3 to 5 years as we look ahead. I think one thing we can all say is that the only thing you can be certain about is uncertainty. So there's bound to be something that crops up that we don't expect. But as we sit here at the moment, what does the next 3 to 5 years hold?
For us, it's always a difficult question, that is. I always remember being sat in interviews and people say, where do you want to be in 3 to 5 years? And you sat there quaking in your boots thinking, I don't know what to say. But 3 to 5 years for us, we just want to see a continued growth pattern. We've grown exponentially in the last 3 years, and last year we hit a magic number that we've been wanting to hit for a while, and I'm hoping that growth continues. Still doing the same thing, holidays and events, maybe branch out a few of our events. Our events are very popular, but you've got to, you got to keep producing new, exciting events for people, and that's what we're doing at the moment. We're trying to plan stuff for the future, create some good partnerships, some of our partners overseas, to be able to create, you know, sponsored events where they can win some really great prizes, but just keep building the business and hopefully grabbing some more of those customers from the bigger travel agents that don't give them the personal service that we possibly can. That's what we're looking to do.
Awesome. And what, you know, our viewers are always interested to sort of understand the potential challenges that successful business owners see, you know, obstacles that may be in the future. What do you see as being your biggest challenges in the pursuit of that growth?
I think, you know, it's like anything. Your overheads increase as you grow. It's employment, and with employment, it's getting the right person. Because we have a nice little successful team as we stand, and you bring in a bad egg, and things might go wrong. So employment is something that you see. It's not a challenge, but you've got to get that right person, somebody that believes what we believe and how we can grow. You know, down to networks and stuff, we still we have a system, but we still use a lot of spreadsheets and stuff like that, and creating that link that everybody can see the same thing at the same time. That's another not obstacle, but it's another challenge to get those linked services together. Like you say, the uncertainty of the travel business. I'm sure we'll get a few flight companies that will go bust within the next few years. You'll get hotel chains that get bought out, will become more expensive. You'll get some that will go to the wall. So there's a lot of challenges with growing the business, I think, and it's something that plays heavy on my mind. I think a lot of the times is to get to the next step, we're going to have employees, office, like a bigger office. So there's a lot of not obstacles, but steps to get to that next level. And the scary steps, it's knowing when to do it as well.
Yeah, and how do you, as yourself, reconcile knowing when to do it? Because it's the same for a lot of business owners. It's, you know, it's one of the questions I get. It's like, when's the right time to recruit, to move the office or whatever? For yourself, how do you kind of reconcile that and those decisions?
Well, I was just sort of waiting this year to see where we're at. So we travel a lot, so we're all over the place. So in the UK, you know, and I'm the business owner, and I do a lot of the nitty gritty behind the scenes. So we're ready, in a sense, for that person. It's just I've not took the leap of faith yet to get out there. And because of the industry we're in and the people we see on day-to-day basis when we're out and about, I'm now looking at everybody thinking, they could work for me, or no, they're not the right person. And it's finding the right person. Do we need, and what the skills of that person are? Do we need somebody that's a travel expert? Do we need somebody that's good at marketing? Do we need somebody that can sit at a desk at an event and have some great banter with the guys that come? So it's finding that one person that could fit all them. So we're not going to employ 2 or 3. It's going to be one, and it's having the skills. And I've highlighted a few people. Then it's if you can give them the right level of remuneration that they want. If not, what can you offer them otherwise? So yeah, it's there. It's ready to go. It's just making that step. But we do need somebody. We do need somebody.
Cool. Very good. Very good. What advice would you give your 18-year-old self, Mark? So you've obviously you know, very successful in what you've achieved so far, but looking back, what advice would you give yourself back in the day?
Start your own business a lot earlier than you did. for a start. Yeah, because I think when I was in employment from 18 onwards, without, you know, sort of bragging or anything, I was always reasonably good at what I did. I was always very conscientious, and I would say always improve the department, whatever I was in, but never felt self-confident that it was my input that did it. So I'd say be more confident when you're 18, really embrace what you've done for the certain businesses that you've worked for, and take the leap of faith a bit earlier. That's what I've given myself. I wish I was doing what I'm doing now 10 years ago. Albeit I enjoy it now. I'd like to have been in my early 40s, not my early 50s doing it.
It's great.
So that's the advice I'd give.
A lot of people say that. A lot of people say that. I wish I'd done it.
And it's not. It's not. I'm going to say it's not difficult. It is difficult to get going because there's some ups and downs. But you know, if you believe in yourself, then you just got to take that leap of faith. And it's something that I'm disappointed I didn't do myself earlier.
Very cool.
Because I felt that I could get to this stage, but I just didn't do it.
Excellent, excellent. Mark, absolute pleasure having you on this episode of Business Spotlight. And to all our viewers, look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thanks again, Mark.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.